Imagine reaching into an old jar of change and pulling out a simple copper cent that once passed through the hands of Americans nearly a century ago, only to discover it holds surprising value today. In this episode of Coins Numismatic Series, we are diving deep into credible wheat pennies that continue to fascinate collectors around the world. These coins may look ordinary at first glance, but behind their warm brown and red surfaces lies history, rarity, and real market demand that could completely change how you see your spare change. The 1920 wheat penny 1-cent coin. The 1920 wheat penny transports us back to an America that was stepping into a new decade. The First World War had ended just 2 years earlier. The economy was shifting, industries were expanding, and the nation was preparing for what would become the Roaring Twenties. Every penny in circulation carried not just purchasing power, but a reflection of a country evolving rapidly. The obverse of the 1920 wheat penny features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This portrait was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB are a familiar detail to collectors of early Lincoln cents. By 1920, the Lincoln cent design was already firmly established in American commerce. The reverse displays the iconic wheat ears framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words arches E pluribus unum. This simple yet elegant design would continue until 1958, making the wheat penny one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage. In 1920, the United States Mint struck Lincoln cents at 3 facilities. Philadelphia produced approximately 310 million coins. Denver struck around 49 million, and San Francisco minted approximately 46 million. While 310 million might seem substantial, survival rates in high grade are significantly lower because these coins circulated heavily during a time when saving pennies was not common practice. The 1920 Philadelphia issue is the most available of the 3, but even so, finding one in uncirculated condition is challenging. In well-worn grades such as good or very good, values typically range from $1 to a few dollars depending on detail. In fine or very fine condition, prices often move into the $5 to $15 range. Extremely fine examples can command $20 to $40. True mint state 1920 pennies are a different story. Brown uncirculated coins often sell for $100 or more depending on grade. Red-brown examples increase in value, and full red mint state coins can reach several hundred to well over $1,000 in higher certified grades. The rarity of vibrant red copper from this era drives serious collector interest. The 1920 D and 1920 S issues are far scarcer. The Denver mintage of 49 million makes it significantly more desirable. In circulated grades, a 1920 D can range from $30 to over $100 depending on where. In mint state, values climb rapidly, often reaching several $100s and moving into 4 figures for premium red specimens. The 1920 S is similarly sought after. San Francisco coins from this era often exhibit weaker strikes, especially in Lincoln's hair and beard. Collectors pay strong premiums for sharply struck examples with crisp wheat lines on the reverse. In high mint state red condition, these coins can command impressive auction prices due to limited surviving populations. Error varieties add another layer of intrigue. Off-center strikes from 1920 are highly collectible, particularly when the date remains visible. Lamination errors, caused by impurities in the metal strip, appear occasionally and can increase value significantly. Clipped planchet errors are also known and draw strong interest from error specialists. Strike quality is an important value factor. Many 1920 wheat pennies show softness in Lincoln's hair above the ear and in the reverse wheat stalks. Coins displaying sharp detail in these areas are often graded higher and achieve stronger prices. Color plays a defining role. Copper naturally oxidizes over time, so full red examples are scarce. A blazing red 1920 penny is a true condition rarity and often becomes the centerpiece of advanced Lincoln collections. Collector interest in the 1920 wheat penny remains strong because it represents an early-era issue that combines historical charm with genuine scarcity and high grades. As more collectors compete for top-quality examples, prices continue to reflect strong demand. The 1935 wheat penny 1-cent coin. Fast forward 15 years and America is facing a completely different reality. The 1935 wheat penny was struck during the Great Depression, a time when economic hardship defined daily life. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was leading recovery efforts through New Deal programs, and even a single cent carried significant importance in everyday transactions. The design of the 1935 wheat penny remained consistent with earlier issues. The obverse still featured Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse continued to display the twin wheat ears that had become a symbol of American coinage stability. In 1935, Philadelphia struck approximately 245 million cents. Denver produced around 47 million, and San Francisco minted roughly 38 million. Compared to the 1920 issues, the mintages were lower overall, but survival in higher grades is somewhat better because collectors had begun saving coins more intentionally by the mid-1930s. Circulated 1935 Philadelphia pennies are generally affordable, often valued between 50 cents and a few dollars depending on where. In fine and very fine grades, they can reach $5 to $10. Extremely fine examples bring slightly higher premiums. In mint state brown condition, a 1935 penny may sell for $20 to $50 depending on grade. Red-brown examples can approach $75 to $100. Fully red mint state coins are significantly more valuable, often exceeding $100 and reaching several hundred in MS66 or higher. The 1935 D is more desirable due to its lower mintage. Circulated examples often range from $10 to $40. Mint state coins can climb into the low hundreds, with premium red examples reaching several $100 depending on certification and eye appeal. The 1935 S is another key issue from this year. San Francisco coins from the 1930s frequently show slightly weaker strikes. Collectors value sharp detail in Lincoln's hair and complete wheat lines. In higher mint state red grades, the 1935 S can command impressive prices, sometimes exceeding $500 in top condition. Error varieties for 1935 include double dies, though they are typically subtle. Repunched mint marks are known for the Denver and San Francisco issues. These RPM varieties show traces of a secondary mint mark impression and can bring solid premiums when authenticated. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and lamination errors also appear in 1935 production. Because fewer coins were struck compared to later decades, dramatic errors from this year are scarcer and can achieve strong auction results. Color designation remains crucial. Brown examples are most common. Red-brown coins carry moderate premiums. Fully red coins with vibrant luster are the most desirable and often attract register-level competition among collectors. The historical significance of the 1935 wheat penny adds emotional weight to its appeal. This coin circulated during one of the most challenging periods in American history. It passed through the hands of citizens enduring economic uncertainty, making it a tangible connection to that era. Collector demand for 1935 wheat pennies remains steady, particularly for high-grade red examples and scarce mint varieties. As population reports reveal limited numbers at the highest grades, competition continues to push prices upward for elite specimens. And that is the enduring magic of wheat pennies. Small in size, immense in history, and always capable of surprising those who take the time to look a little closer. The 1936 wheat penny 1-cent coin. The year 1936 sits right in the heart of the Great Depression recovery era. America was still rebuilding. Industries were slowly regaining strength, and confidence was cautiously returning to the economy under the leadership of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Every coin in circulation during this period carried purchasing power that mattered deeply in daily life. The 1936 wheat penny is more than a copper cent. It is a quiet witness to a nation climbing back from economic hardship. The obverse of the 1936 wheat penny features the familiar right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909, this portrait was revolutionary for American coinage because it marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regularly circulating U.S. coin. By 1936, the Lincoln design had already been a steady presence in American pockets for over a quarter century. On the reverse, two stylized wheat stalks framed the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum arching above. This wheat design, often referred to simply as the wheat reverse, symbolized agricultural prosperity and national unity. It would continue until 1958, making coins like the 1936 a classic representative of the series. In 1936, the United States Mint struck Lincoln cents at 3 facilities. Philadelphia produced approximately 309 million coins. The Denver Mint in Denver struck about 40 million pieces, while the San Francisco Mint in San Francisco produced roughly 29 million. These mintage figures create an interesting hierarchy of availability. The 1936 Philadelphia issue is the most common of the 3. In heavily circulated condition, it can still be found for under $1. In fine or very fine grades, values typically range from $2 to $5. Extremely fine examples may command $10 to $15 depending on eye appeal. The real jump in value begins in mint state. Brown uncirculated coins often trade in the $20 to $40 range depending on grade. Red-brown examples carry higher premiums, sometimes reaching $50 to $75. Fully red mint state coins, particularly those graded MS65 or higher, can easily exceed $100 and climb into several hundred for superb gem examples. At MS67 red, auction prices have reached well beyond that, reflecting true condition rarity. The 1936 D is significantly scarcer due to its lower mintage of around 40 million. In circulated grades, values often range from $10 to $30 depending on condition. Extremely fine examples may approach $50. Mint state coins are considerably more valuable, with brown examples often exceeding $100 and full red specimens reaching several hundred to over $1,000 in the highest certified grades. The 1936 S is the lowest mintage of the year and particularly desirable. Circulated examples generally sell between $10 and $40. In mint state, the premiums become substantial. Brown uncirculated coins may bring $100 to $200, while red examples in high grades can approach or surpass the $1,000 mark when eye appeal and strike quality are exceptional. Strike quality is an essential value factor for 1936 cents. San Francisco coins in particular may exhibit weaker strikes in Lincoln's hair and beard. Collectors carefully examine the detail above Lincoln's ear and the wheat lines on the reverse. Sharp, well-defined examples command stronger premiums. The 1936 issue is also notable for important proof coinage. The Philadelphia Mint produced proof Lincoln cents in 1936, marking the first year proofs were issued after a long hiatus that began in 1916. Approximately 5,569 proof cents were struck. These coins display mirror-like fields and sharp detail. In high grades, especially with full red color, 1936 proof cents can command several $1,000s, making them one of the most desirable coins of the 1930s. Error varieties further increase collector interest. Double die obverse examples are known for 1936, particularly showing noticeable doubling in the date and inscriptions. These varieties are highly sought after and can bring significant premiums depending on the strength of the doubling and overall condition. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and lamination errors are known as well. Because the 1936 mintage is moderate, dramatic errors are less common and often command strong prices at auction. Collector interest in the 1936 wheat penny remains strong for multiple reasons. It represents a key recovery-era coin, includes the reintroduction of proof issues, and offers real scarcity in high mint state red grades. For those building complete wheat penny sets, 1936 is a crucial date that blends accessibility in circulated grades with true rarity at the top end. The 1937 wheat penny 1-cent coin. The 1937 wheat penny continues the story of America's gradual economic recovery. Industrial production was strengthening, employment was improving, and optimism was slowly returning. Coins struck during this year circulated widely in a nation eager to move beyond hardship. The obverse design remains the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner. The simplicity of the design allowed it to endure through decades of political and economic change. The reverse retains the twin wheat stalk motif, framing the central denomination and country name. In 1937, the United States Mint struck Lincoln cents in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia produced approximately 309 million coins. Denver struck about 50 million, and San Francisco minted roughly 34.5 million pieces. Mint State Brown examples generally trade between $15 and $30 depending on grade. Red Brown examples may approach $50. Fully red Mint State coins are the most desirable, often selling between $100 and $300 in MS65 and climbing higher in MS66 and MS67. Strike sharpness plays a vital role in 1937 valuations. Collectors focus on Lincoln's hair detail and the wheat stalk lines. Weak strikes reduce desirability, while crisp, fully detailed coins command stronger competition among buyers. The 1937 issue also includes proof coinage from Philadelphia. Approximately 9,320 proof cents were struck. These proof coins exhibit brilliant mirror surfaces and sharp detail. In high-grade red condition, 1937 proof cents often command prices ranging from $1,000 to several $1,000s, depending on certification and eye appeal. Error collectors find the 1937 wheat penny appealing due to known doubled dies and repunched mint marks. Doubled die obverse examples can display noticeable doubling in the date and lettering. Repunched mint marks on Denver and San Francisco coins add another layer of collectability. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and lamination errors are also present. Dramatic examples with strong visual impact are especially desirable and can bring substantial premiums. Color designation once again determines value tiers. Brown coins are most common. Red-brown coins occupy the middle ground. Fully red coins with blazing luster and minimal spotting are the most coveted. Even minor carbon spots can significantly reduce value in higher grades. Collector demand for the 1937 wheat penny remains steady because it offers a balance of availability and rarity. It is attainable in circulated grades for beginners, yet challenging in superb gem red condition for advanced collectors. The presence of proof issues and recognized varieties further enhances its importance within the wheat penny series. For collectors today, they represent not just copper and design, but living history. And in the highest grades, they remain powerful reminders that even coins struck in the millions can become genuinely rare when preserved in extraordinary condition. The 1955 wheat penny 1-cent coin. Few coins in American numismatics generate instant excitement quite like the 1955 wheat penny. At first glance, it appears to be just another mid-1950s Lincoln cent, struck during a period of post-war prosperity and economic growth. But beneath its simple copper surface lies one of the most famous and dramatic mint errors in United States history, a variety that transformed an ordinary 1-cent coin into a legendary collectible. The year 1955 was a time of confidence and expansion in America. The nation was in the heart of the post-World War II boom. Highways were expanding, suburbs were rising, and consumer culture was flourishing under the presidency of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Coins were in heavy demand for vending machines, transit systems, and everyday commerce. The United States Mint was striking cents at high speed to meet circulation needs. The obverse of the 1955 wheat penny features the familiar right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is "I in God We Trust." Liberty appears to the left, and the date 1955 is positioned to the right. The reverse displays the classic twin wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum arching above. In 1955, Lincoln cents were struck at 2 primary mints for circulation. Philadelphia produced approximately 330 million cents, while the Denver Mint in Denver struck around 563 million coins. At face value, these are substantial mintages, suggesting common availability. And for most 1955 cents, that is true. Standard circulated examples from either mint typically trade for only a few cents to $1, depending on condition. However, the 1955 Philadelphia issue includes what is arguably the most famous double die obverse error in U.S. coinage history. The 1955 double die obverse was created during the die manufacturing process. When the working die received its impressions from the hub, the alignment between impressions was dramatically offset. As a result, strong and unmistakable doubling appeared on the date and inscriptions. The words "Liberty" and "I in God We Trust," along with the date 1955, display bold, separated doubling visible even without magnification. Unlike minor doubling seen on many coins, the 1955 double die is dramatic and unmistakable. Letters appear clearly doubled and slightly shifted. The effect is so strong that it immediately catches the eye, even to non-collectors. It is estimated that approximately 20,000 to 24,000 examples of the 1955 double die entered circulation before the error was noticed. Because the coins were mixed into general circulation, many were spent and heavily worn before collectors realized what had happened. Today, surviving examples are far fewer, particularly in higher grades. In circulated condition, a genuine 1955 double die typically sells for well over $1,000. Even heavily worn examples can command prices between $1,000 and $2,000 depending on detail. In very fine to extremely fine condition, values often range from $2,000 to $4,000. Uncirculated examples are exponentially more valuable. Mint state brown specimens frequently sell for $5,000 to $10,000 depending on grade. Red-brown examples increase further, and fully red mint state coins have reached auction prices exceeding $20,000 in high grades. Superb gem red examples have sold for significantly more, making this one of the most valuable non-rare date Lincoln cents in the series. The popularity of the 1955 double die has led to widespread counterfeiting and alteration attempts. Some individuals attempt to simulate doubling through mechanical alteration or by adding a second date impression. As a result, authentication by reputable grading services is strongly recommended for any suspected example. Aside from the famous double die, standard 1955 Philadelphia cents without doubling are common. In circulated condition, they are generally worth a small premium over face value. In mint state brown grades, values may range from $10 to $20. Red examples can reach $50 to $100 in MS65, and higher grades may exceed that. The 1955 D, struck in Denver, does not include the dramatic double die variety. However, it remains collectible in high mint state red grades. Circulated 1955 D cents are typically worth only modest premiums. Uncirculated brown examples may trade between $5 and $15, while red examples in MS65 can reach $50 or more. In MS67 red, prices can climb into the several $100 range due to condition rarity. Strike quality for 1955 cents is generally strong, but high-speed production sometimes resulted in minor softness in Lincoln's hair or the wheat lines. Collectors seek sharply struck examples with full detail and vibrant luster. Color designation once again plays a crucial role in valuation. Copper coins naturally tone from red to brown over time. Fully red coins, especially those free from carbon spots and contact marks, are far scarcer and significantly more valuable. Error collectors also pursue additional 1955 varieties, including minor double dies, repunched mint marks on Denver issues, and off-center strikes. While none rival the fame of the major double die, they add diversity to the year's collectible landscape. The 1955 double die became widely known shortly after its discovery. News of the dramatic error spread quickly among collectors, and the coin gained national attention. It became one of the first modern error coins to achieve widespread popularity, paving the way for future interest in varieties such as the 1972 and 1995 double dies. Collector interest in the 1955 wheat penny remains exceptionally strong. For many enthusiasts, owning a genuine 1955 double die represents a milestone achievement. It is often considered a centerpiece coin in any Lincoln cent collection. Beyond its monetary value, the 1955 double die carries cultural significance within the hobby. It demonstrated that mint errors could be both dramatic and highly valuable. It also showed that attentive collectors could identify rare varieties in everyday pocket change. Even today, decades after its discovery, the 1955 double die remains one of the most searched-for coins among roll hunters and collectors. Its bold doubling makes it one of the easiest major varieties to identify visually, adding to its appeal. The standard 1955 issues, while common, still represent the final years of the wheat penny design, which would be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. As part of the broader wheat series, 1955 holds both historical and transitional significance. In the end, the 1955 wheat penny stands as a perfect example of how a single minting mistake can transform an ordinary coin into a legendary rarity. Billions of wheat pennies were struck over 5 decades, but only one year produced a doubled die so bold, so unmistakable, and so valuable. For collectors, it represents excitement, opportunity, and the enduring thrill of discovery. A small copper coin, born in a year of prosperity, forever remembered because of a striking mistake that changed the course of modern coin collecting.